Here's my stuff.
Do not attempt to adjust your programming. You are now listening to
A little mixed up.
B-Movies and Beyond.
You got to pew pew, Peter.
Pew pew.
Pew,
Sorry,
pew.
I forgot.
You're researching.
Pew, pew, pew.
Pew pew.
Bum, bum, bum. Did you do that?
Oops. That's the outro. That's the podcast.
And that's a wrap. Welcome in, everyone. The B-Movies and Beyond. It's episode 387. So close to 390. Ryan, how you doing?
Oh, I'm feeling the effects of getting old. You know, you have long days at work, and then like you're excited to podcast, and then you're like, you have this whole build up. You watch all the trailers, you catch up on all kinds of news and celebrity deaths, and then like you're like, hey, you know what sounds really good? Bed. But
Yeah.
we're here, and bed's not important right now. What's important is we saw a movie together. You just came back from a trip. I hope you had a great fall.
I did.
And then I just realized how busy Easter weekend is going to be.
When is Easter, by the way?
April 5th.
Is it really?
Yes.
Oh, that explains a lot.
You know how I found out?
How?
A couple days ago, Babe goes, hey, we're invited to this for Easter. I said, okay, cool. And then a couple days later, friends go, hey, we're planning some birthday stuff on the 3rd, 4th, and 5th. And I was like, okay, that sounds awesome. And then I coordinate plans with Babe and go, hey, this weekend we're doing this. And she sends me an Easter bunny thing, and she goes, you know, Easter's Sunday. I was like, well, looks like we're going to have a really busy weekend.
Yeah. We don't really do any of that stuff, so I don't even think it crossed our minds. But now we're like, oh, that's why people aren't responding. Now it makes a lot more sense.
It makes the most sense because of Easter. So, yeah, we can. Easter.
We might bump it up. The Ellie's party.
Can
now.
we bump
now
up
that
Easter? Or bump back
Maybe
Easter?
just
How come Easter
bump
isn't
back.
just like a set Sunday? Like the second Sunday of April. All times.
That's what I'm saying. It's I forget whenever Ash Wednesday or whatever that is, like, which I don't understand why that changes either. It makes no sense to me, but that dictates, like, because sometimes Easter falls on my birthday. Sometimes Easter's not until like almost the end of April, you know? Like, it just makes no sense at all. So,
Yeah, it doesn't make sense. That's the most interesting thing is I think last year was, and see, this happens every time I try and put on a car show too, because usually I have one, and we've just kind of gone on the wayside of Easter. Like, yeah, whatever, you know, people will show up, and they do, but then you still get the is that Jesus flipping John Moxley off? Amazing. What?
I don't know what you're talking about.
I'm sorry. I have wrestling on in the background, and I have AEW, my least favorite of wrestling. I don't know why I have it on, but there was a guy in the crowd dressed up as Jesus flipping off a pro wrestler as I was complaining about Easter's consistency.
That's goes hand in hand. They knew you were talking about it. They just knew.
And I just got a news update via group chat that apparently all parties have changed as well. Real time. Real time. Peter, it's good to have you back.
So she bumped it back. Okay.
bumped it back. What? Yeah, back. Oh, later in the.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
I was saying like let's do it at the end of March, but now we're doing the 11th. So now I don't know. Ellie doesn't really know when her birthday is, so it's fine.
Not yet. You have to get closer. Peter, I have a question.
No, not yet.
I threw up.
Yes.
Wait. It's a question. That's the question.
My sister's sick.
My sister's sick.
Yep.
Forever, dude. She's
Yep.
going to be
So
14 years old one day. I'm going to go, Ellie, I have a question. She will never get this joke unless she goes and you unearth that footage somewhere. But, rambling man over here. Peter, what's new in
I
the
know.
movie
Too much
news?
is happening.
There was some Oscars. Did you watch it? We don't watch the Oscars like we used to either.
No, dude, I literally I think I wrote down in the notes like the Oscars happened. Do we care?
Oh, okay. We'll address that in the notes. What was another thing that snuck up on me is Ninja Turtles Secret of the Ooze movie release. Since last year I missed the one for the original for the 40th anniversary, and then this one is the 34th or
35th, yeah.
it took him 5 years to make a second movie. Is that right?
I thought it was less than that. Is that? I feel like it was less.
Maybe
'Cause
they
when
did
did the first one come out?
Oh, I'm having my timelines screwed up because the 40th anniversary was for the Ninja Turtles as a whole. This is the 35th for the second movie. I think the first movie came out in 89.
90.
Yeah, 90.
No,
yeah.
90. Yeah, 1990. And so the very next year, they Secret of the Ooze was released.
Wow. That's quick. How come Into the Spider-Verse freaking can't come out every other year, but they show up every 10 years?
Well, my understanding, part of that is from Chris Miller and Phil Lord, who are very loosey-goosey, and they really like to change up things. And so I think it's constantly changing, and that's really hard on animation, right? They need a set script where, like, this is what we're doing. And also, like, think about, I mean, those movies are amazing because of all the little details they put into it, right? Like, all the different art styles that they incorporate based off of each character, dude. Like, it is mind blowing what they've done, which I'm sure it takes some time.
Do you think it's because of not everything you just said, but the internet rumor that you've been spreading that Chris Lord and Phil Miller, them, are hard to work with, and they're very difficult to work with in movies?
Like, I think it depends on.
Mind you, that's what you've been spreading on the internet. I haven't heard
I
that anywhere. That is all Peter.
I heard it from other places on the internet, and I wouldn't say it's. I think it's difficult in the sense for animation because it's so hard to
animate.
Yeah, like that's difficult. But like the other aspects, like they're collaborating, right? They're allowing everyone to work together and changing it up, like letting it just kind of freely come out. And I think that can work on live action film. But it could also, like, if you don't handle it, it can create delays, right? Which a studio can be very pissed off about. Like, I think it's part of the reason why they didn't finish Solo is because they really, like to be out there, and the studio's like, dude, we need to stay in budget and get this thing done in a timely manner. And they're like, nah, whatever. and And now they add.
So they're hard to work with, is what I'm gathering. How are my cords tangled?
I don't know. I don't know what you did with your cords.
I think
So
it's Chris Miller and Phil Lord's fault. Sorry. Peter,
it might be.
do you miss... Actually, do you want to go with this quick question, or do you want to go with the one that just came up extemporaneously?
It's up to you, but now because I don't know what this new quick question is. So,
Let's do both.
well, what I was gonna say first off, before we just jump into that, we did go see Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles: Secret of the Ooze in theaters for the 35th anniversary of it, and how has your opinions changed on it at all? Was it still just the fantastic film that you grew up with, or how do you feel? How was the experience?
Okay. All right. I had the same feeling as I did when I was, I think, 6 or 7 was right around that time. And when okay, Nate said it best. Are they going to do the same intro twice like they do on the VHS? And I was like, fucking Nate, of course. Of course. So, I it just exceeded every expectations. It just really just dialed in like a perfect 90s movie. All the tropes, the film style, the film sets, the action scenes, like it holds up the test of time. Like even if it was made in the 90s, had a 90s look, you can put a AI noise defilter on there, whatever words I'm trying to say, and clean it up, and it would still just be a really good thing. And I think that was going to be my question. Do you miss Muppet type of movies? Like, here's the thing. As a kid, they looked so damn real to me. But as an adult, I was just enamored on how good of a production they did with the Turtles, with Splinter, and with Toka and Razor. Like, they still felt very real to me, even though I can look at them and realize they were just giant Muppets.
I no, I appreciate what they did there. I love how all of it's practical. With that being said, as like an adult, I noticed a lot more things, especially watching it on a big screen.
The
That I
helmets.
don't think I. Yeah, like you see, like in between, like their neck and the head, like there's gaps, right? And now I also notice, like I know where their eyes are.
Donatello, dude. Donatello bugged me throughout the entire movie because his head sculpt looked very cartoonish compared to his brothers. And yeah, you could see where their eyes were underneath the
Yeah,
bandanas.
like I never saw any other eyes. Um, and then what else did I notice? There was a part where they get lured. Well, I guess no. They're there to meet the Shredder. They told him like, "Hey, if you don't come to this location, we're gonna let Toka and Razor out and into Central City." Right. So they
Right.
show up, and there's a part where like I think Leo has his arm up, and you see skin of a person in between the rubber parts. Like it just wasn't fully connected, and like there's this few of those things. I'm like, oh man, like you just know it's a person in the suit, which totally like again, it's fine. Like I understand, I like that it's practical, and I do think there should be more of that. Which nowadays, like they would do that and then use like CGI as well to blend everything, right? Take away all the gaps and everything. Like it would be seamless.
Yeah,
Uh,
do a cleanup, you know?
Yeah, yeah, and so, like, yeah, I still love that. I think they need to do more of it. So I'm 100% on board with that. This one, it cracked me up just so much with just the like they dumbed down this movie so much. They made it so family friendly because the other one was so, I guess not,
Mm-hmm.
That's what bothers me. And I think I've always said that, but now like rewatching on the big screen, like, it just makes you laugh. But the whole time I'm just thinking like these are like the worst ninjas ever because they're constantly being seen, which that was a nice joke at the end with Master Splinter, right? Like when they like, oh yeah, we're totally a ninja. But like also they go into like they're constantly being outsmarted by the Foot basically / Shredder. That like they show up, they know this is basically gonna be a trap. Yet they're supposed to be ninjas. They sneak in. They didn't find any Foot Clan, and then as soon as they get in the middle, boom! All the Foot come out of nowhere. I'm like,
Like
I
right
do
behind
not.
them.
Exactly. I'm like, there's no way these stupid teenagers are more like stealthy ninjas than the Ninja Turtles. Like, it makes no sense to me. And that happened throughout the film. They show up at TGRI,
Yeah.
and that happens. They show up at the dump. It happens. Like, it just happens throughout. And like that part was just like, what is going on? Like, they make the turtles so almost like not cool. They were so cool in the first movie. And this one I was like, I don't think they're as cool because of all this stupid shit they're doing. And also the other part that kind of annoys me, they still have not defeated the Shredder. Splinter and kind of Casey Jones defeated the Splinter, and then Shredder, excuse me, and then Shredder defeated himself in the end of the Secret of the Ooze.
Dude, okay, so the TCR,
Is it TC or TGRI?
they change it. Like
Yeah.
some versions it's TCRI and then some it's TGRI. When they go into that complex, like that right there was the perfect example of just dumb. Like, hey, we're just going to show up into this enclosed room while the scientist is gone. And hey, let's check out this computer. And on the computer screen, it was just rudimentary, just a database of like numbers of ooze canisters. And they're like, Donnie's like, well, let me just see how I can hack this. And he's just like pressing the down arrow. And he's like, oh, that one's active. And they're like, well, do something, Donnie. And Donnie's like, well, okay, let me see what I can do. And then he's just fat fingering everything. But if you look what he's doing, he's just typing the active ooze canister. And when he hits enter, then the whole computer crashes. Like, what?
I know. But I loved, though, he did give some dialogue about like, well, I mean, I could try to do something, but I could do something wrong where it will totally like wipe out the whole database. And they're like, just do it. I think that was Raph. Raph's like, do it.
Yeah.
So with all these funny things.
Even when the Foot Clan showed up, think about the room they're in. This is like in a super secret like scientist laboratory where they had to get in there. But then this entire collective of Foot Clan just show up and they just surround the perimeter with their arms closed and football kick this canister around while the henchman, what's his name, Tonkatsu or something like that, he just stands there with his arms closed and they wait for the turtles to do like a little huddle so then they can just like fuck around and randomly just do cartwheel kicks and be a bunch of idiots. Meanwhile, he just stands there and then this is the best part. This is where this movie is just all dialogue for kids. They're standing against each other on both sides of this room and he has to announce that he has a vanish ball, so he pulls out this little golf ball, announces it and goes ninja vanish and like throws it. That's not ninja like. Why do you have to announce you're gonna throw a smoke screen?
Again, this is why I'm saying like the Foot should not be more advanced than Turtles. And that was I was asking Aaron. I was sitting next to Aaron when we were watching this, and I'm like, dude, like they're ninjas as well. Shouldn't they be used to smoke bombs? And his reasoning behind it is like, dude, they're evil. Like they put peppers in it or something. I'm like, oh, okay.
Okay, so I saw the movie twice. I took Jade the first round with Justin and Billy, and then we saw it on the Tuesday, and I sat next to Nate, and that dude was reciting. And mind you, Nate, you may think you're cool, but I can recite that movie word for word as well. I just chose not to. So we were watching that, and every single line was recited. And like, if you think about it, Kino had a line like initially, like, "Yeah, if I'm gonna dream of something, I'm gonna dream of something thinner," and then he just like scooters off like an idiot. And then, so like we're watching this movie, and I've always followed this theory. You know how like the turtles use trench coats to disguise themselves?
Yeah.
Well, there's a lore somewhere down the Mirage line that they actually can like show their appearance as humans. And remember in the cartoon they would like there was an episode where they were humans and stuff like that. So
Mm-hmm.
in the
Mm-hmm.
scene where Kino joins the Foot Clan, you see a tall black guy wearing a red shirt, and he's only in that one scene. And then any other scenes, he's not leaving with the Foot Clan. He's not next to Kino. You never see him again. So it goes from that one scene with him and Kino, and then and then it goes away, and then you see Kino and Raph. The theory is Michael J. White, who is that tall black man, is
Yeah.
Raphael in disguise.
Interesting. Okay. Because Aaron and I were also talking about that, how like it's so weird that he was just there and then he never goes with them.
Right. He's Raphael.
Yeah, I don't. But he also Raphael also just was behind the truck. Why wouldn't he just go in with them? And also, why wouldn't he just be in disguise the whole time? I don't like this theory, Ryan, is what I'm saying.
But also,
I told Aaron is what I believe is Michael J. White was doing too much martial arts and showing up everyone, and so they said you need to go home now. You can't be better than Kino.
you can't be better than Kino.
was-
You go to your wife Wanda and live a happy life as a military expert, and hopefully you
That's
don't
right.
succumb to the devil and become a hellspawn.
Yeah, hopefully not. I mean, all in all, I say all this stuff. Like I've always hoped for this. Like I wish this movie had the grittiness the first one had. This one still like holds a very special spot in my heart, dude. I love Toko and Razor, even though even that aspect of it is really it was a well out of necessity somewhat is that they couldn't afford to get the licenses for Bebop and Rocksteady is my understanding,
Right.
and then they're like we want to own these characters, and so they made up their own that they could license freely for like toys and all that good stuff. I mean, I love the characters. I that was such a everything with Toka and Razor was like fantastic. I think that was what made the movie for me. Getting more mutants, them just being babies, that whole aspect of it was fantastic. But them being just really strong, and they just looked really badass. So I love that part of it. I do love just the turtles interacting with each other. I mean, I think that's one of the best things about the Ninja Turtles in any version is that dynamic. You know, even the Michael Bay ones, like always that brotherly love is there, and I always love that part about it.
To add to Toka and Razor, seeing it on the big screen in high def, they were Toka was an amazing body cast. Like
Yeah.
whoever did the creation of Toka. Not so much Razor. Razor looked like a giant Jim Henson puppet, but Toka, like,
Just the face. The face
yeah.
was, yeah.
But Toka was good. Toka was a good one, and then it gave me an appreciation for Splinter because now as an adult, like knowing how much like production Jim Henson had in this was his last movie he did. Um, Splinter was phenomenal, dude. They really gave like that human presence, human sized presence out of a rat. And there were scenes where he did look like a Henson puppet, but it didn't take me away from it. You know, like how the labyrinth, like you see all these little gremlin looking creatures and they look like mini splinters, but they look goofy.
Yeah.
His Splinter was just fucking perfect, dude.
Yeah.
And I was talking about it at work today, and one of the guys that works there, I told him I went to go see the movie. And yes, I tried to get the Turtle Van at least twice to go see this movie. Um, but uh, Ryan, he's like, "Oh, my cousin, he did work on that movie," and I was like, "What did he do?" And he goes, "He did the costumes, but he didn't do the turtles. He did the two bad guys." And I was like, "Your cousin did work on Toko and Razor? I was just complimenting how awesome that was." And he goes, "Yeah, yeah." He has a photo of him next to the suits. I was like, "Well, I have to meet this guy because this guy made one of the coolest looking snapping
Yeah.
turtles, dude." And I don't know. I just and big stark contrast from the 1 and 2 to 3. Jim Henson's presence. I just don't understand how like everything else Jim Henson touched, like Sesame Street or Muppets, still works. Meanwhile, like anything else that he like had a hand in but wasn't his creation didn't transpire. Like Turtles 3 was just, it was not Jim Henson, you know?
Mm.
But Donatello's face, dude, it just, I hate to sound so insensitive, and YouTube, please do not censor me on this, but he kind of just looked like a turtle with Down syndrome.
Uh, I don't think I didn't have that many issues with him in particular. I'd try to pull up an image right now just so I could kind of compare to see like if there's anything weird with him.
But the first Donatello in the first movie, perfect sculpt. I don't know why they decided to kind of dumb him down in this one.
I
Michelangelo,
don't.
he was consistent all the way across all the movies, and I think Mikey was the perfect looking live action turtle across the board. He was a perfect blend of like personality. He had the short height. He had like the Mikey look, like, and he stayed that way the whole time. Like Leo looked more like a dweeb in the second one, and Raph just looked like a kind of like a lower budget version of the first one. But Donatello just really just didn't vibe with me. Michelangelo, watching this again, Michelangelo just made me like realize they took a lot of care and love into making Mikey's bodysuit.
Yeah. Um. Yeah. I don't know. I don't know what it is about Donatello that you just don't like, but that's fine. That's fine. I do. I mean, looking at all the turtles, I do think there's cooler ones than others. Like I probably my next like least favorite is probably Leonardo, to be honest, with like the whole head sculpting, and
Yeah.
it's kind of crazy how much they actually changed from the first one to the second one. Like they made these like almost back to back. Like you really wouldn't think there'd be much, but I think my understanding is they put more electronic or animatronics in the heads. So that's why they had the biggest difference with those heads, because they had more movement and everything. Um, which I think was helpful for them, because I think that was an issue in the first one, right? A lot of times like the mouth didn't maybe quite sync up to what they're saying. I don't know. Speaking of just costumes in general, like everything was a lot more brighter, I
Mm-hmm.
think is the right tone. Even Shredder,
Mm-hmm.
and he also looked a little, I don't. He looked pudgier to me.
You think
He
so? I
was
thought he looked more frail. They did the side profile of him, and
frail.
he just looked like a small Japanese man. But I did
I
like
don't
that
know.
Shredder had like this silver, black tiger stripe cape. Like for a man who runs his entire organization out of a random junkyard, he had a dope cape.
Yeah, I agree with that. And then when he turned into a super shredder, like that was badass. I just,
I love that
man,
the armor mutates with him too. Like
I know, I
how
know.
and why?
I I don't know, but it doesn't matter. Like that's what I kept on saying. Like when I'm watching this film, I'm like, I'm having a great time. It is cracking me up with some of just the silliness that they added to it, which I think again it goes hand in hand with the family friendly and also just made me feel like I'm watching a cartoon. You know, these are
Hmm.
things that would just happen in a cartoon that make like pretty much no sense, but you have to push the story along. Um, and just some of the dialogue was just so bad, but like it would just make us all laugh. Like Danielle was there, she was just laughing so hard at some of the, you know, double meanings that some of the things that like everyone was saying and especially when like Shredder comes down, like we were all laughing about this where uh what's the line? He's like coming
Oh,
to a
Splinter.
decision.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, dude. As a kid, never thought about it, but growing up, where's Splinter? He's up there meditating, coming to a decision.
Yeah.
And then later, when you add it to like when the turtles are dancing with Vanilla Ice, he has Kino up there meditating with him, and his line is like, "I have wisdom and you have youth." I'm like, God damn, Splinter, like, tell us you groom kids more.
Yeah. Well, and then how just much of a perv Mikey was throughout. Like that's it's so funny that they wanted to like make this more family friendly, but at the same time, like, man, you kind of made this a little weird in some aspects. But I don't know. Like I said, it was fantastic. I love watching it on the big screen again. Like I'm so disappointed that we didn't get to see the first one last year. And are they going to do this for the third one? What do
It's
you think?
Well, looking at our notes in your screen grab here, this movie did $1.4 million. Um, Peter, those tickets were $20, and there was no discounts.
Yeah.
This was a Fathom event, so Fathom is making money off of this. Fathom is gonna do it. Um, I when I bought
I
the ticket, I was just like, $20. I was like, are movies $20 now? And I was like, wait a minute,
yeah,
no, are
they
they?
are. Oh, dude, yeah, like dude, it is so expensive to go to the movies now.
Mm.
It is. Yeah, I'm not surprised at all by how much. I'm trying to we got to wait for more numbers to come in because right that's Sunday basically. So
Oh
they're
wow,
in the top 10 for the weekend and that's basically from one day. Um
good.
so I'm really curious about what the other uh days will hold and if it brings in some more money, you know. That'd be nice to see because the first one, like it brought in quite a bit. Like our theater though, but it was like us and there's a few other people in the theater, huh? Like, it wasn't that
But you know what else I
busy.
noticed? Like even in the parking lot, um, there were fans leaving an earlier showing, and they were all wearing Ninja Turtle gear. Like, understand your audience, guys. Like, just roll with it. Like, if you're gonna make a new one, take our
Wait,
advice.
how were they seeing an earlier one if there was the only one showing at 7 p.m.?
Was there? Oh, maybe people
Yeah.
just wear Ninja Turtle shirts.
Well, dude, I see it all the time, man.
I
People love
mean,
the
Nate
turtles.
wears that
Like,
hoodie every day.
yep, yep.
He wears that
They're just
hoodie probably the same amount that Sergio wears that B movie shirt that you're wearing.
it's true. It's true.
That's a good shirt. It's held up the
It
test
is.
of time.
It is. It's nice.
Yeah.
I like it. All right. It was awesome, but we gotta move on, man. We got some big stuff to talk about. Big new trailer. Not really news, so who cares about news?
Yeah.
And are we doing our question? I do have a quick question. This could be really short too, and it's related to the turtles. Since stay on topic. You need to push the button.
What? How? Why? I have so many questions!
Nope, just one.
Just yeah. Well, I do have more, but so I was thinking about this with the turtles and everything. They have hard shells, correct?
Yeah, they're supposed to.
Can they actually get fat? Like, can a turtle get fat? And if so, how does that work? Do they just kind of get they just get tighter around their shells? Like, what happens if they get fat?
Okay, so the undershell and the big shell in the back. If you know anything about turtle anatomy, the big shell opens up.
I do not.
Yeah, no, it opens up in the back, and that's where they store their weapons.
Okay. So you're saying those toys that I had as a kid, they're accurate to the turtle anatomy. Okay.
Yeah, so
you're saying their extra fat would be stored there.
yeah, they're extra fat,
Okay.
and then if they just get fat on the sides, then or like elsewhere, that is not shells, so that side area expands and contracts, but the shell should be flat because when they're actual turtles on the ground, they use that to glide across the ground when you put turtle wax on it. But yeah, so if you look at there's versions of Raph where he's massive, that's a big turtle. You look at the baby turtles like in the Last Ronin, I think they're all named one. One of them is named one, but he's a big, or she's a big. I don't know. I gotta follow that part. But one of them's a big turtle, and kind of like a big fat one. You see Donatello nowadays is kind of like skinny and nerdy.
True.
So
Okay.
yes, turtles can get fat. They just carry it differently. It's like
So do the shells grow with them, or is this kind of like a fish tank scenario? Where like you ever hear that where like you got a really big fish tank and you put like goldfish in there, right? It's gonna grow to the size of that tank, like that it fits in properly. But if you had it in a small tank, it's not gonna grow bigger. So if a turtle grows and has a really big shell, they're gonna get really big. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. I learned something. I also do. So they don't get front bellies; they get back bellies.
It's all on their sides. Like if you ever look at
side bellies.
yeah, it's a side belly. So that'd be funny to draw a fat turtle.
Yeah, I was just thinking about that. I was like, because I thought the shells were connected, and so that wasn't possible. And I also like the idea that if they were connected and like they just kind of like just start all this fat's just kind of getting tight around their arms and just spewing out. I like that. I also like the idea that all the fat's just stored in their back of their shell where they have that, where they keep their weapons, like you said.
Yeah, yeah. They
So-
keep their weapons in a
fun.
drawstring so they could talk.
Oh yeah, that too.
Yeah,
Yeah. All right. Well, thanks for answering that.
yeah, no problem. I mean, that's what I'm here for.
All right. Should we move on?
Yep, let's do this one. As we talked about earlier, the Oscars happened.
Yes. They did.
And okay. I think the in memoriam lasted longer than a typical regular Oscars show. So I think um, this is blending two news things in one. But I think all the celebrities that passed away just in time for the Oscars, so they can fill in that time. Because in today's sad news, do we have it? In today's good news, nobody died
That we are aware of.
that we're aware of. So I think they got everything done before the Oscars. So thank you, actors, for being considerate in your thespian roles, even in towards end of life and post life.
Yes, yes. I mean, I can go two ways with this, but like speaking of dying, though, is Buffy the Vampire Slayer reboot has been killed. It's dead.
Ah, well, I mean, listen, it was rebooted from the movie anyway to a series. And if you ask anybody about Buffy the Vampire Slayer who would know anything of it, wouldn't even know there was a movie. So, in essence, the show was a reboot of the movie. So, I guess third time's not a charm.
Yeah, maybe.
Maybe
We'll see.
Charmed is next.
They've been revived, haven't they? Or it just didn't work out. Reboots seldom work.
Who would be a good Buffy now? Like what actress would get you to watch a revived Buffy the Vampire Slayer?
Probably some nobody. Like I don't know if it's so much that person or it's just the idea behind her. Like, I think guys can get behind it. You get a attractive young lady that is fighting evil. I mean, that's everything a guy likes, right? Oh,
Oh, I know who. Miliana Vantrub, the
who's that?
AT&T girl.
Yeah, yeah.
She's
Is she kind of old?
she's built for she's built for photos, but her personality is very built for TV. Oh my gosh, you know who else? Aubrey Plaza. Aubrey Plaza would be an awesome Buffy.
That she would be too. I do agree with that. But again, she's kind of old as well, isn't she?
So they just got to do it in the style of The Office, and we're good. Could you imagine an Office style Buffy?
Oh, yeah, that would be fun. And you go and visit like where the vampires are working. That'd be fun to see.
Oh, our favorite new Scream Queen, Samara Weaving.
Yeah, she would be good. But maybe that's what they need to do. Maybe they're past the TV and it needs to be a movie franchise.
Okay,
you
if
know?
it's a movie franchise, then I was gonna say Sydney Sweeney. But I like Samara Weaving, actually.
Yeah, I really like her. In fact, like I am gonna review a movie with her in it.
Oh.
And I'm super excited for Ready or Not too. And like I've been hearing nothing but like great news about it, that this movie, beats the previous one, which like is hard. Like that's sequels rarely do that. So I'm very excited to see this new one. But I don't know, dude. Like I think it's just such a great premise. It was a great thing that they could easily do new episodes every single week and also have like an overarching theme. Like they just crushed it. I'm really shocked that they actually canceled this. Like I'd watch it. So
You must have tied on all this work, all this news together, because your last note, while one Joss Whedon franchise is being canceled, we're getting a Firefly animated series.
yeah, it's getting reborn. So do you know Nathan Fillion? He was the captain of Firefly, and then Alan Tudyk was the pilot. You know, they did the movie Serenity, which I really want to rewatch, and I need to. But they've been doing a podcast together, and they've been getting all the old cast members on there. And I don't know if this stemmed from that. Like, they probably had this in the works beforehand. But, like, everyone's like, dude, we're on board. So I think they're going to lend their voices. They found an animation company and everything. Like, they have artwork, but the thing they don't have is the actual place that will release this, that would, you know, like, stream it. And
Hey, Amazon.
Amazon, Netflix, like, I feel like this should be an easy thing for them to accomplish, but that's where they're at right now. You know, I think they're just trying to build the fan excitement for it, the buzz behind it, to try to make it that much easier to get a company to be like, yep, we'll buy it and put it on our platform. So hope it happens. I just like Buffy, I think Firefly was a great series. It was easy for them to create these, you know, single episodes and also have the overlapping theme, and it got cut short because it was, I think, kind of pricey and ahead of its time, to be honest.
Like Dark Angel.
So yeah, I really like Dark Angel as well. The hell, I thought Dark Angel got a few seasons though.
Yeah, but it was, you know, Jessica Alba was worth more money, and
Yeah.
Fox didn't have that.
Well, exactly. Like, so they just like, all right, they canceled it, and you know, the same thing with Firefly, man. They only got like 8 episodes, and that's it. So
what you're saying is Firefly, animated by Amazon with all the original voice actors, needs to come back, and Samara Weaving needs to be Buffy in any way, shape, or form we could think about.
yep, exactly.
Done deal. And Hollywood is taking a break from celebrity deaths, and the Oscars still suck.
Yep.
I think
That's
we
the
need
news.
Yeah, I'm good with that. Moving on.
Here are some exciting coming attractions from
Movies and beyond.
Trailers.
Ooh, these ones look good. Let's get the one I think is probably the worst out of the way. I watched it and I was like, this is a Peter fucking movie. Thrash.
Oh yeah. So I was gonna ask you, like I was gonna take out like Spider-Man Brand New Day, like remove that from the list, and we got new trailers for like a first look trailer for Crystal Lake, a movie called Pizza Movie, Thrash, and Outcome that has Keanu Reeves in it. And I was gonna ask you, between those 4, like, what was your favorite trailer of those and why? And I think you know mine.
Yeah, yours was definitely Thrash.
Yes.
It was a disaster movie, and I was like, okay, that says Peter written all over it. And then I saw sharks, and I was like, did Peter make this? So
It combined all the things that I love, and I cannot wait for this to be released on Netflix, like, I think next month. So, yep, I know what I'm going to be doing that day.
hell yeah.
Like, dude, like shark movies, man, like, they just stand the test of time. Like that other one, Paris Below or something like that. Like,
oh yeah.
that was really good. That was a great shark movie. I hear they're making a sequel to it.
You were gonna
What is that
lose your
called?
effing mind when Street Sharks is made.
Yes. Oh, Under Paris is what it was called, and that was That was fantastic.
You're gonna lose your mind if there's a live action Street Sharks.
Yes, I will. Did you? I sent you a little YouTube video.
Yeah, so I looked at that when we were texting. I was like, when did he send this to me?
Oh, that was yeah. It was like almost midnight, and I saw this. You know what's funny is I haven't even watched it yet, but I love all these AI created videos putting the Ninja Turtles in all these different scenarios, like other movies. They're making wrestlers and everything, and now they did this one with like Ninja Turtles versus like Street Sharks and Street Sharks or something, and it just looks awesome. Like there's a lot of weird stuff with it because it's AI. Like it's not all there. Like sometimes like the Ninja Turtles have like noses or they have human hands. Like it's weird stuff like that. But just seeing them, like the wrestling aspect alone, like really, I was like, they should make this a movie. But the idea of the Ninja Turtles and Street Sharks together just gets me so excited. Like if they actually make a live action Street Sharks and then they go and like we already know they're going to make another live action Ninja Turtles and then they come together and then maybe they go fight dinosaurs or they go into the Fast and Furious franchise, like the possibilities are endless, Ryan.
I like it.
Can't wait.
See, Street Sharks is just a perfect tie-in with Fast and Furious. Ninja Turtles would probably, if I could tie Ninja Turtles into anything, and I'm going to take Daredevil out of it because that's too close to home. But I would say tie him in with Ghostbusters. So if you got Ninja Turtles, Power Rangers. Oh, no.
Yeah.
Oh, that would be an epic movie. All of it.
Dude, I don't know why, but I really feel like they just tie in so well with so many different other franchises. Like the Batman and Ninja Turtles, that animated movie and the graphic novel is amazing.
Solid.
Yeah.
Power Rangers, they found a way to make the Turtles turn into Power Rangers.
Mm-hmm. And then same thing, the the Ghostbusters and Ninja Turtles teamed up as well, and that was a lot of fun. Like they just work so well with all these different franchises. It's crazy.
It's like there was a formula made in the 80s. They're like, wait a minute, we have something that works. Let's make it a formula for kids that's going to last until they grow up so they can pass it on to their kids. And we're going to color code them. And there's going to be 4 of them, so you have to buy pairs. You have to buy toys in 4. And we have to make all the bad guys very similar, but if not more aggressive.
Yep. Mm-hmm. That's right.
Wonderful.
It's great.
Peter, I can't wait for your review of Thrash.
No come.
Crystal Lake sounds pretty cool if you're a big Jason fan. Is this a origin story of some sorts?
Dude, to be honest, like it's supposed to be a prequel.
Okay.
But honestly, it just looks like it's like almost rebooting. Like it just looks like Friday the 13th, the part 1, like the first one. But there's hints of Jason in it, which makes no sense to me because it's clearly focusing on a younger version of his mom, who was, spoiler alert, the bad guy, the killer in the first one. So, like, I don't know what they're doing. I will say I think it looks cool. It looks like the movies, and to me it's just like, all right, this is just retelling the first movie in a longer format and in a series format. So that's kind of how I view it. Let's talk about this Keanu Reeves. Yeah, I watched it. I mean, it's Keanu Reeves, so I know I'm gonna watch it. But Jonah Hill is directing it, and did he also write it?
I think so.
I think he did.
And it's coming out on Apple TV. Apple TV I don't care what anybody says about what they've done. Apple TV produces some good looking movies. And like their style is just so crisp and so clean and so like enjoyable to watch. Like every even if it's a comedy, it's just its production is so damn well. It must have been shot on an iPhone 17 with like a multi-million dollar rig attached to it. But
Yeah.
um I like what Apple's doing. Their series are really good, and I have really high hopes because either Jonah Hill uh, has something over some executive in Apple's like a skeleton in the closet, or they truly believe that this could be a good movie. And he has star power behind it with Keanu Reeves playing a kind of a washed up actor who's trying to rebuild his life and career and through the motions of getting uncanceled and erasing his past. So pretty interesting. They use Keanu Reeves, like one of the most like clean cut actors I've ever seen. Like that man has no like if there was a audit on any celebrity of all the bad shit that they did, they'd be like, "What about Keanu?" And they'd be like, there's nothing. He bought
Mm-hmm.
all his stuntman motorcycles for the Matrix. I don't know, tax evasion.
Well,
Nope, he
and
paid for that.
he gave away like I think most of his money from
Mm.
the Matrix. Like, dude, the guy is like just a saint, and it's fun to see him in this type of role. But also, dude, I think between him and Jonah Hill, like how many people are in this film is ridiculous.
Yeah.
Like it just the list goes on and on and on. Yeah, I mean, I'll watch it at some point. That's for sure. Like I think Apple TV is like hit it so well with all their series. Their series are really good. I I've watched a couple of their movies and some I've made it through and others I'm like this is garbage and I've turned it off. Sure, it looks good, but the plot and everything is just terrible. So I think that a lot of the streaming services are struggling with movies still. And speaking of that, and this could be the same. I mean, it remains to be seen, but it looks really fun in my opinion. There's a movie called Pizza Movie, with one of the kids from Stranger Things,
Dustin.
Dustin. What's his real name? I want to say Gaston, but that's not right.
Gavin Massasso. I don't
Oh,
know.
Gavin.
I don't know. I made that up.
Or is it Gatton? Gatton? I think it's Gatton.
Gatton Machismo.
Gatton Matarzo. Yeah, I don't know. It's hard. Dustin. We'll just call him Dustin from Stranger Things. And him and his roommate in college, they get some drug and the chick, one of the SNL chicks, something Sherman, she is like basically explains the drug and the trip they're gonna go on and the shit that's gonna happen. And basically, if they don't get pizza by I don't know a certain time, they're just gonna go insane. Their head's gonna explode. Basically, is what I got from it. Crazy premise, silly title. But the wackiness is all there, like everything you need for like a B movie, and it's going to be on Hulu, so that's where the streaming services come on. And so, kind of crazy, Hulu will put this out there, but they'll cancel Buffy the Vampire Slayer.
It's because they didn't listen to this episode on the podcast and realized Samara Weaving is perfect for Buffy.
I don't know if they could afford her, but yep. They messed up. Maybe that's why they canceled it. Like we're just not ready. We'll be ready when she's ready.
Yeah, we're gonna wait for Samara. We're good.
Yeah.
And then the elephant in the room, the trailer release Of probably what's gonna be the second largest movie this year. Can I think of anything else bigger besides Avengers?
Supergirl, I think, might be pretty big.
Mortal Kombat 2, Street Fighter.
Ooh, dude, there's some big ones, man. It's a
Uh,
pretty good year, dude.
Mario's probably gonna be 2.
Yeah, Mario racking all that kid's money. I think Ready or Not 2 can, like, dude, it's a good year. It's a really good year.
About time.
Yeah.
Spider-Man Brand New Day. Yes.
What are your initial impressions of this? Like, really happy to have a trailer.
Yeah, finally,
Finally.
because I think we've had like leaked trailers since November.
Yeah.
So it kind of killed a little bit for me because I was anticipating an Avengers trailer and a Spider-Man trailer. And so like new rock stars, this is Eric Voss and we're going to review a leaked trailer. They kind of spoiled the premise of what this trailer looks like. And
Was any of it actually accurate? Like, I saw tons of things they said that were leaked, and I really don't think much of it was actually accurate. Like, there's so much just AI driven shit, man. Like, you don't know what to believe, and so I stopped looking at anything that said like, oh, this is leaked.
so Eric Voss from New Rockstars broke down the new trailer and how compared to the leaked trailer he saw in December. Listen more for all Eric Voss news because I'm Eric Voss. He compared it to the leaked trailer that he saw supposedly with Marvel, and a lot of it lines up, but they added a lot more elements and kind of changed it up a little bit. But this is a controversy with a trailer like this for me. This trailer is highly edited, so certain scenes they CGI'd out certain elements of the action scene. So you'll see Spider-Man doing something, but there's supposed to be a villain there. That's to not give away certain things. I'm okay with that, because it doesn't give away big major points. But you know, I think it just gave me enough. It gave me enough to realize, okay, we know we're getting a street level Spider-Man. Okay, that's proven with Punisher. You got Bruce Banner. You got Scorpion. So you're seeing villains. You're seeing not the foot, but the hand is there.
Mm-hmm.
You saw a glimpse of Sadie Sink, which people are conspiring that it's Jean Grey. You saw Spider-Man hit a train where the girl on the train is very similar to Rogue. I don't think she's Rogue because this girl looks really dopey. But this movie, my initial reaction after watching this was there's a lot of talk about mutation and mutant elements. I think Spider-Man might be, and I'm maybe hopeful that it's setting up the X-Men in the MC universe. Because Peter Parker himself, we know from the last movie, he basically erased everyone's knowledge that Peter Parker himself was Spider-Man. So the trailer talks about it. But the big problem that he faces is now he is mutating. So he's like, you see him get his organic web. He's creating, like, his body's creating all this extra web. He's developing more powers as a spider. It's becoming more natural instead of him relying on technology.
Yeah, I mean, I'm curious if they're gonna do the full mutation and turn into the man spider, if it's just gonna be a tease.
I, for one, think that would be dumb. I don't think they need to do that.
Well, but that's kind of why I'm like, why are they even going down this road? Like, here's
X-Men.
yeah. I don't know. I'm actually on the side where it makes a lot of sense that like Sadie is Jean Grey. Like there's a part in the trailer where you kind of see like someone seems to be like taking control of other people. And so it makes a lot of sense that she could be that person. And also like with the whole like multiverse, it's very possible that it wasn't just Spider-Man coming across. Like Like a lot of other things could have come across from that whole dimensional multiverse tear thing. Like maybe she's from another world. Like there's a lot that could go on with that aspect. My big thing with this is like, man, there was a lot. Like, I don't understand how they're gonna put all these things into a movie and have it make any sense at all. Like, a lot of people are saying that this is just like, oh man, this is probably mostly a montage. Like, this is what Peter Parker's been up to, and so that's why it's not really that big of a deal of what we're seeing here. But it was a lot. Like you see all these classic, like some classic villains. You saw Scorpion, you saw a tarantula, and they just fighting the hand. Like there's a lot of things in there, and I don't know how how they're gonna piece this all together and have a coherent story. Like and the whole changing to be this man spider, and then also the idea that apparently the Hulk's supposed to appear in like a savage Hulk and Spider-Man fights Hulk. Like it's a lot of shit.
That is a lot of shit. And then tie in Sadie Sink, and then tie in Frank Castle. Oh my gosh.
Yeah, dude, it's bloated, and again, unless like half this stuff is just very small elements and it's just kind of setting up just like, hey, this is the world he lives in and this is his life now, and it's really not that big of a part of it, and maybe it's more on the mutation side. I don't know, it remains to be seen. I love the costume, by the way. I thought Spider-Man just looks awesome.
A very practical looking suit.
Yeah, getting close to like, this is a normal Spider-Man costume. I love the dynamics of just him trying to figure out life. I think that part of it, like they're crushing it. Like just the dynamics with Peter Parker and Spider-Man, and just him juggling that, and especially after like now he has no one. You've ripped away all his friends, and he's just so sad. So I can't wait. July's right around the corner. That's when I bet we're gonna see a Avengers Doomsday trailer. It's probably not until then.
Fair enough. That gives us 6 months, but I like it. They should do the real thing where, hey, you have to watch Spider-Man to watch the Avengers Doomsday trailer. Like, watch the movie, and then you get, guess what? A trailer at the end of the movie.
Yes, like they did that for what movie were they? I think they had the Avengers trailer, right? That was like the stinger at the end. It was like the Avengers trailer.
That's what they have to do. Not before. None of that. Little teaser goes into the Avengers trailer. Call it a day. That movie would sell bajillions of dollars.
It will for like opening weekend, and then it's gonna be instantly online somewhere. So that's why it's so hard. Like it almost doesn't make sense to like how they did it with like the Avengers little tidbit things with the Avatar, because I saw so many bootlegs, and then like, all right, a week later they release it. So I don't know. I like it because at least you might drive up some ticket sales for that opening couple nights.
I love it, especially with AMC having their tickets at $25 a pop. This movie's gonna break $1 billion.
Oh yeah, it's gonna be a lot.
Bajillion.
All right, let's get into our reviews, Ryan.
I gotta find it. Where'd it go? Oh, there it is.
Don't sue us.
I like your version.
Maybe we need to re-record it. Yeah. If I do this wrong, guys, it's gonna. take down the mainframe.
Well, he must. He's a scientist, Mikey. Like, that was just... You just saw a guy on TV and he was just like, he's a scientist. Listen to what he's saying.
Yeah. Oh, man.
That fucking dandelion, like, hey, we better hide these. And then they're just walking around the whole, like, construction site holding these giant dandelions like nothing's happening.
Well, and then, his thing was like, no, sometimes you got to be right out in the open, right under everyone's nose, and they won't even see it.
And it was a sweet scene where Shredder's holding a dandelion. It was just very touching,
Yeah,
Babies!
so cool.
They're babies!
I really liked the Doctor, though. The Doctor was great.
The bad guy in Tron? Yeah. He was,
Yeah.
good. He was a good doctor.
Yeah.
No, was he a doctor or a scientist?
I mean, is it the same thing? He probably has a PhD.
In science? I don't know. He mixed Pepto-Bismol with pizza and then they turned him into ice cubes.
I got that from because Mikey dropped his pizza in there, which again, like Donnie's like doing this stuff and he's just like, oh, we'll just pretend that never happened. like I really feel like a real scientist would have been like, we're gonna redo this whole concoction, like he just thought it was amusing. I don't know. And I also loved how everyone is eating pizza around all these chemicals and saying how bad it smells, and yet they just kept on chomping away.
And like, why did they turn them into ice cubes into donuts? Why didn't they just use that like liquid goo stuff and bake donuts?
I don't know. Probably wouldn't taste very good. And you also you'd bake out all the properties, right? You can't do that.
That's my first thought. Maybe
Science.
bake out all the properties, but then wouldn't you change the properties of it if you solidify it in water and ice?
I think ice is very different. No, it preserves it.
And then wasn't it
preserves it
CO2 that activated it? Why didn't they just go in there and load up fire extinguishers with this chemical compound mixed with CO2 and knock them out right away?
Well, Brian, he didn't figure that out until they started burping. They were so gassy that they were basically counteracting the anti-mutagen. And so that's why they needed the CO2 to reactivate it. Also, how come when they when they turn back into creatures, like I don't know, why doesn't their skin, like, I feel like they should just have really floppy skin everywhere.
You're really on this fat thing, aren't you?
I am. I don't. That's what happens when people get skinny. There's all kinds of loose skin. And you just take a creature and make them big, and then you make them small. There's going to be a lot of loose skin.
I think it was a missed opportunity for them to spray the ooze on Vanilla Ice.
Oh, dude. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, that would have been fun. Just one big white
ice cube
wrapper. Vanilla
ice,
just turns into ice cube.
Vanilla ice cream cone.
Just dancing and singing.
Just mutates into a giant vanilla ice cream cone and just starts melting on stage.
Yeah. Missed opportunities all throughout that film.
Let me remake it.
Yeah.
Last
right.
about Ninja Turtles, but that Leo Mondo figure I sent you, the one that I'm gonna have to spend another $250 on.
Dude,
that
looked amazing though.
Yo, it's phenomenal, dude. I was bummed Donnie came out first, but I was like, that was the one where I was like, dude, I'm committing now. It's gonna be about $1,000, but when they said that these turtles were based off the original movie series, that they're creating a universe based off these action figures, I was like, you fuckers, you sold me. So like these figures are supposed to be those turtles
from the original movies?
From the original movies, yeah.
Okay, and they're just taking like elements like their personality and kind of modifying it. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, the picture looked amazing. I mean, again, like, the turtles are just, they're lasting forever. Like, the popularity is just outrageous, and the fact that you just keep on making these toys and you can sell it for $250, it's crazy. I think we got in the wrong biz, Ryan. We should have been making toys, Ninja Turtle toys.
You know, there's a lot of pro wrestlers that left their big time careers to make wrestling action figures, and they're making millions of dollars doing it. So
Wow.
I think we are in the wrong biz. Maybe we should make No. Let's get on that toy business plan later on. Toys about Samara weaving. No. Damn, what's a trope that we always... Nicolas Cage toys.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Let's do it.
We gotta get the likeness. Anyway, what'd you watch, my man?
Well, yes. Speaking of Samara Weaving, I watched a film with her in it.
Beautiful.
I finally got
Was
around.
It visually pleasing?
Yes. Do you remember us watching the trailer for Borderline?
No.
Oh, okay. So it has Ray Nicholson in it, and I think that's the only reason why you would. Him and Samara Weaving, and also Eric Dane.
Oh.
So, yeah, this was one that I think we watched the trailer and we're like, oh, I mean, it's all these people we like. Also, it's Jack Nicholson's son in it, which I think I just saw a movie that he was in, and so I was very excited to kind of see what he could do in this movie. And I had to say, dude, he did not disappoint. Like, he was the best part, and I wanted to see more and more of him, and parts where he wasn't, and I was like, oh, damn it. But the whole premise of this is that Samara Weaving is a pop star, like superstar. And she's a little bit of a handful, I guess. She's all over the place. There's some weird kind of thing where she has this list of people that she's gonna date through, and so she's on one of those athletes that's on the list, and she's kind of dating him at the time of this movie. Also, she has this bodyguard, and that's Eric Dane's character.
Okay.
And she has a stalker, and that's how this movie starts off. And Ray Nicholson is the stalker. He shows up at her house. Eric Dane's the bodyguard. Comes out.
I remember this trailer.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's like, dude, get away, just go. And then Ray, who is Paul, he plays Paul in the movie. He comes back and he has a knife to his throat, and Eric Dane tries to stop him and talk him down, because this guy, he's the reason why it's called Borderline. He has the borderline personality disorder. He has the mental health and feels like he's in love with Samara Weaving. And they're gonna get married is what he believes, and that they're just soul mates. Paul basically stabs Eric Dane in the very beginning. That's how this movie opens up, with Eric Dane getting hurt instantly, and then they capture Paul. But very fun montage in the very beginning with all the credits, where Paul's just running through Samara Weaving's house, just living it up in this mansion and everything, just doing all this wacky stuff. And again, dude, everything he did, his facial expressions, just how he moved his body, how he talked, Ray Nicholson crushed it in this role. I cannot wait to see what else he does, and if he's going to be as big as his dad, because I think he might be. All right. Fast forward. Eric Dane's healed up. He's coming back to work for Samara, And also, of course, Paul escapes his mental facility with another chick who she was really good as well. Alba Baptista.
Hmm.
She plays Penny, and she's just whacked out of her head as well. But she was really good. And there's a nice little fight between Samara Weaving and her, but she's crazy. She is crazy in this film. Anyways, they're going back to do their whole plan where they're gonna, Paul needs to marry Samara Weaving. Sophia is her name, and they gotta go and do all that, and he breaks into the house again. All the things happen all over again. Samara Weaving gets to be a badass again. It's also funny. It's Eric Dane. This is probably maybe his last performance. I'm trying to take a look at that just to verify. No, I guess he did a couple things because he seemed totally fine in this film. And he did a great job being this bodyguard and also just being funny. I think that was probably the biggest surprise is like I didn't know what to expect from this film. Like it felt a little bit tongue in cheek, but I didn't really sure because this very beginning it's not that funny. He stabs a guy instantly, basically, and then the very end. I'm not going to ruin anything, but it's fun. I'll just put it that way. It's a fun ride. So, highly recommend Borderline. It is currently on Amazon Prime, so you can easily watch it if you have Prime. And I do recommend it. It's been on streamers for a while now. It's been on my list for the same amount of time, and I finally watched it on the plane and loved it. Loved it.
I'm on a Samara Weaving kick as of today. And her filmography, I loved her in her movies she's been in, and now I realize she could be Buffy. And in the time of you doing this review and talking about Ready or Not 2, I realized that she's in the same movie with Sarah Michelle Gellar. So the stars are aligning. But
Yeah, they're in the movie together, yeah.
I also like that Jack Nicholson's son is playing a psycho, much like his father in the famous movie Batman and The Shining. Okay, I'm in. Now I remember from the trailer, and if you're loving this, I would totally watch this. This sounds like a really good, dare I say, dark. Was it humorous or was it?
It is.
Okay,
It is. I would say it's a dark comedy. Yeah. So the writer and director is Jimmy Warden, which I did want to just give him credit because I thought the writing was great and the directing was great, and this is really his first directing role. But previous writing credits, he wrote Cocaine Bear. He also wrote the Babysitter, the Killer Queen. So the second one, not as good as the first one, but it's still fun, which had Samara Weaving in it. So I see where all this is connected. And I don't know, dude, if he keeps on making movies like Borderline, man, like he's going to have a promising future. So
I like it.
Jimmy Warden. What'd you watch, Ryan?
I didn't put it down because I'm a little too embarrassed to put it down. I did put it down, but I didn't solidify it. I watched Power Rangers reboot. Since we're kind of watching our childhood movies, and I just remember that the Power Rangers was one of those like initial movies during the inception of our podcast that I was like most excited about, and maybe I was blinded by just kind of wanting that nostalgia back, but I went to revisit this.
This is the one with Bryan Cranston, right?
Yes,
As Zordon. Okay.
2017. Bryan Cranston. You had the likes of what's his name? Dacre, Darcy Montgomery, the guy who was in Stranger Things. You have Naomi Scott, who was Princess Jasmine, and then you got Becky G, where this strange little blip in her career is nothing because she's a massive Mexican pop star. Bill Hader is Alpha 5, who was the worst
Oh,
version of
yeah.
Alpha 5 I've ever
Yeah.
seen. He had Bryan Cranston, and then he had Elizabeth Banks as the Green Ranger / Rita Repulsa.
And she was good. I
Yeah.
remember that.
Yeah. By that cast list, you'd be like, man, this movie should be good. However, I went into this, 9 years removed. Jeez, 9 years already. I want to break this in. This Power Rangers movie is the Breakfast Club with kaiju problems.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Pretty much sums it up.
There you go. This movie had an identity crisis. It just didn't. They passed it off. It was going to be gritty, but they really put in this whole like teen drama thing and really focused on that, where they were building up the characters and why they were banding together, and then throwing in elements of them becoming Power Rangers. This is where the Breakfast Club comes in. Like, they were a bunch of fuck ups, and they were getting in trouble in school and family life, and like building the purpose to come together, right? And I think this is where the movie misses the point, because I feel like the Power Rangers isn't a series where you need to spend so much time introducing the characters. I think the Power Rangers is a movie where, and if you're going to do this in a movie format, tee it off to one of the many series that was already there. You can literally say, hey, these are the original Power Rangers. This is how they got their powers. Zordon, kids, you're the new Power Rangers. Do it within the first 30 minutes of the film so we could get more Power Ranger action. I think that's what we were missing, was there was just too much of them like trying to find themselves. I wanted more lore behind the actual Power Rangers themselves, instead of why these kids were chosen. Right?
Yeah. I thought, am I mistaken? I might be thinking of the James Vanderbeek short film.
You're absolutely mistaken, because that was phenomenal. That was kind of here's where they're at in their future lives. They still have Power Ranger powers, but the Black Ranger is going to go out and do a bunch of cocaine.
But no, okay, maybe I'm not mistaken. Like, at the beginning of the movie, right? It shows, because Zordon talks about how like there was a war or something, and he gets like knocked down. Right?
Him and Rita were like fighting this war. So
Yeah.
So, okay, it's going to touch on it a little bit, but then it just goes into this high school drama.
I know, like, but basically it's like, all right, like, there's this war, and then they left that planet and went to Earth, basically, or that's where Zordon ended up, right?
I also think they spent too much time building that up when they already introduced the war, and then there was not enough time to basically say, oh, by the way, Rita is the Green Ranger, and now you're going to have to like either team up with her, this older version of everything, or she's going to have to transfer the Green Ranger power to some new kid in the sequel, which I think they were talking about in the classroom, but while they're established. But like, give us more Power Ranger build-up during this time. Like, the kids in Angel Grove in the series, they all somehow just randomly knew karate, and they knew fighting styles. These kids didn't. It was too much of like, I don't need to see the lesbian Yellow Ranger being an angst teenager with her Mexican family. I don't give a shit about that. That's just real life. I wanted my Power Rangers to get their coins, get their powers, and maybe spend more time in an actual Zordon suit or Zord mech versus this weird alien thing that was fighting this giant goopy gold thing, you know?
I mean,
You're trying to find the good in this, and I'm not going to let you.
no, I here's I agree with the whole aspect. Like, there needs to be more Power Rangers. Like, that was their downfall, right? Like, the Power Rangers was mostly just training. Like, they didn't do anything. Like, they should have, like, the half an hour shows have more Power Ranger than this film.
Let's put it in perspective. We didn't get the Power Rangers in their suits until the last 20 minutes of the movie.
Yeah, exactly. Like, and so that's why I'm 100% on board with, like, that was part of the issues. Like, it took way too long to get to that part where they should have been doing.
Rangers.
Yeah, they should have been doing something. It could be really crappy Rangers, but at the same time, like, they should be in their suits and fighting something, right?
If I remember the series correctly, the first episode, a 30-minute episode, they had their suits.
That's what I'm saying. Every single episode, there was always two times basically, right?
Yeah.
Somewhere in the middle, they would transform. They go and fight the putties and or other things that whatever the big bad for the week did. They'd fight them a little bit. Then they stopped for whatever reason. They scared them off or they got beat, right? And then they got to figure out like, oh, what do we do now, or how do we find this guy? And then they go fight him again usually, and then he gets big, and then they get into Zords, right? That was every single week. That's what I was saying. Like, do you see those in those half an hour segments? Like, they're in Power Ranger suits more than what they did in this movie. And I agree. Like, that's what the issue was. But it's also really funny. Do you go back to when you had the original Mighty Morphin Power Rangers, the movie? They started off in suits, right? Mm-hmm. And then they took them away, and then brought them back right at the very end. It's like, why did they do this for the movies?
Well, the first one worked because it was a tee-off from the series, and it was a way to introduce the newer season and change up the characters.
Yeah,
and the movie
some
was
new Zords and powers, I guess.
It was a perfect blend for the first movie because it wasn't an origin story. Like, they were like there, and it was a new villain, and they got their movie suits, and then they got their ninja suits, but they got ninja powers now. And then,
well, that was the other cool part. Is like they technically lost their powers, their original suits. Yeah. So they had to go find new ones. Which I think that's why that movie works and the new one does not. Yeah. It's a shame.
Yeah.
We all went to that, like,
we made
close to opening
we
night,
made a
right?
side YouTube project based off of this. Two dudes, what? Or no, not two dudes, what? Yeah, it was two.
No,
dudes,
that was
one
two
bed.
dudes, one bed. Yeah.
Yeah.
That was, dude. I rewatched that. I think with Ellie, and I forgot just how amazing it is.
It was great.
So
there's some movies you should revisit as a child, and they're mostly from the 90s. This movie's not. So
I'm curious about someone that would be younger when that movie came out and how they view it. Just like there's so many kids now, Ryan, like they grew up on the prequels.
Yeah.
Prequel trilogy for Star Wars, right? And they love them.
Dude,
they love them.
I have a funny story about that. So, one of my coworkers, did I tell you this, where he's trying to get his girlfriend to watch Star Wars?
I don't think so.
And he's like, how would you start? And I said, I would do Rogue One, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and then watched the Topher Grace cut of 1, 2, and 3. And he's like, "You don't like the prequels?" I said, "I hate the prequels. I think they're the biggest waste of time ever." And he goes, "Well, she liked them." I said, "Yeah, she's 21 years old. She's a kid." And he goes, "Well, I liked them." And I said, "You're a kid as well." I said, "No wonder why you liked them." Yeah, they're not meant for me. Like, I watched those as a becoming a teenager, and I was like, dude, this was the big hype about Star Wars. This was not good. Like, if
Yeah.
the prequels came out in the 70s and 80s, I don't think it would have had the power that it did today.
I agree. I mean, there's a reason why George Lucas, like, let's start with here.
Yeah.
I, did he, well, obviously the girlfriend watched those in order. How did he see them? Because, like, I think that's the other aspect is, like, right, we saw the original trilogy, like, a lot, right, before
Yeah.
we saw these prequels, and so that's what's stuck in our head, right? Like this is what we're expecting, and then we didn't get that. And now for a younger generation, like, if that's all they watched was the prequel series, and then you get to see the 4, 5, and 6, you're more like, huh, that was cool, like, that was an interesting churn. And then you go back to, like, the sequel trilogy now, and you got a whole nother batch, which I think it just really depends on where you start, and that dictates how you like those films. So that's what I'm saying. There could be people out there that saw this Power Rangers and was like, that's fucking amazing. How come we didn't get a sequel?
I just don't understand who, because, like, if they were trying to tailor this towards teenagers, like, Power Rangers is something if you're in that teenage phase, you've already watched the stuff on Disney. But if you're coming into this blind as a young kid, like, you're a kid who's not relating with teenage drama problems. That's where, like, the Angel Grove kids work, because you didn't get their home life. They just randomly showed up in the cafeteria and fought Bulk and Scully, and then, like,
they're like the Charlie Brown, like, you
Yeah.
don't see the parents ever. If you do, there's like walk 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 walk.
so
You did see dynamics between them, though. Like, they went through, like, the high school shit, occasionally.
yeah, but for a kid watching that who's not in high school, they saw bright red, bright yellow, blue, pink, black suits with giant dinosaur mechazords and fighting random gray putties and a weird gold and blue Muppet next to some crazy Japanese lady.
Yeah. It's going to be interesting to see what Disney does with this and this reboot they're going to do. You might be right, where if they try to make it too much, like, grittier, it's not going to work. Like, they have to, like, get them in their suits faster and have them actually be Power Rangers, and then maybe add in some grittiness to it with their characters and some drama.
Yep.
But you got to get them in the suits.
And if you're going to drastically change the suits for this movie appearance and they're all going to be CGI, like, make them close to resemble the original Ranger suits. Like, these ones just look like Iron Man offshoots.
I see what you're saying, but you didn't like them at all?
Not after rewatching it, to be honest with you, because it was like that whole nanotechnology. And I think what I really appreciate about, like, the early 90s suits is they look like they look like
They look like armor, in my opinion.
the new ones. Yeah, I don't like
No,
the
the old ones. I thought the movie ones kind of looked like armor, in my opinion.
Oh, the original movie ones? Yeah.
Yeah.
But the TV show, like, it was,
No. Yeah.
I mean, the gold crest that the Green Ranger wore absolutely looked like a foam shield that they just, like, strapped on him. Oh, that's because it was. But in this movie, I I don't know. I don't like this whole like mech transforming thing where I can't tell what's going on. Like Michael Bay really ruined Transformers when you would buy a Transformers action figure and it couldn't transform.
Yeah,
So why
I
would I
hear
buy a
you.
Megazord that I can't disassemble and turn into four different dinosaur robots?
Yeah.
So
Uh, I don't really quite remember the Zords in the movie,
they're
but
unforgettable. Even the bad guy was
yeah,
Goldar. Goldar in the show
yeah.
was fun. He was a big blue
Mm-hmm.
panther looking thing that wore just gold all the time, you know?
Yeah.
Even Zed was fun. He was just like a, a meat brain looking thing with a Z on top of his head, you know? Like the
Yeah.
characters had style. Even Ivan Ooze.
Oh yeah, that was fun.
He had a
I
character.
don't know.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm looking at
Oh my
these
god, Ivan Ooze is
costumes.
the fucking scientist in Ninja Turtles.
No
I
way.
just realized that.
Really?
I believe so. Now I just heard the voice in my head. When did that movie come out? 93?
No, that's not him.
I think it is.
95, but I don't. That's not him.
What's his name? What's his name? Ivan Ooze? Paul Freeman? Oh no, that's Paul Freeman.
Yeah, yeah, it's not him.
He sounds like him.
Yeah, like look at him, like yeah, I can just tell. But I don't know, that would have been funny if it was the same person. But anyways, right, let's get into recommendations.
Um,
I know it's not gonna be Power Rangers for you.
mine is Daredevil. Daredevil's coming up. I'm excited for that. I like when these big movies come up, and Daredevil's right around the corner. And you and I have talked about this. This is a talking point with me and everybody at work. What Marvel movie or TV shows are, and I've just come to the consensus that like, I don't like what Marvel's putting out on television besides Daredevil, Punisher,
Yeah,
and that's it.
I agree, and we kind of forgot to talk about that. That trailer did come out, and dude, the new season looks amazing, and I love again they're bringing back another character from the Netflix show, Jessica Jones, and I think it would be cool. And yeah, it looks like a great season. I think it comes out. The first episode comes out like next month or next weekend or
Weekend,
something
yeah,
like that. Next
it's
week.
coming up.
Yeah, very exciting. My recommendation is along with like Borderline, I also finally got around to watching The Accountant 2, and I'm just like, why did I wait so long? That movie was so good. Ben Affleck and John Berthel, fucking amazing. They were so good. I love the whole story behind it, and then the action is just phenomenal, like amazing. I hope they make another one.
What I really like is like the first one was about Ben Affleck, and then the second one was really more about John Bernthal. My only takeaway on that one is I didn't like the whole like X-Men like CIA NCIS database that they built that they track people. I think that was just a little much. But I mean,
They're really smart kids. They're kids with superpowers, basically, from their mental issues.
yeah, okay.
Did it? That didn't bother me at all, to be honest.
I thought that would bother you
liked
more
it.
than it bothered me, but I'm glad that it didn't bother you because for that time it took me out of that movie. But everything and no, just how it was tracking people in like desolate areas in Mexico, and then that final scene of them just
But it wasn't.
it was
It
good.
was. It was people tracking.
Yeah.
Like that's why I'm okay with it. It wasn't just like this system. Like no, they were hacking into networks. They were finding these people, and I like that. And the fact that like they all were. They're all like like Ben Affleck's character. They all are special with their Asperger's. Like they were really good at it. Like I really like that idea. Like maybe that's how Anonymous is, like the real life Anonymous. Like they behave like that. So I don't know. I loved it. I love the other aspect of it, of that. I forgot what the syndrome's called, but basically where someone goes to like a very like almost brain damage, and you come out of it, and now you like learn this ability that you never had before.
Oh yeah, that was cool.
Them diving into that and just like, we really don't have a reason, but here's a chick that it happened to her, and this is what came of it. Like that was it was cool. So, again, it's on Amazon Prime. Totally watch The Accountant 2.
The Accountant 2. More autistic assassins.
Yeah.
All right, Peter, let's wrap it up.
All right, buddy. It's been fun.
And it's been real. And it's been real fun.
Something like that.
Be sure to visit bmoviesbeyond.com.